Hey everybody, Tim Dwyer from South Australia. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. We are down here, tad dry still, but hey, that's okay. We will get through. We will survive. Hey guys, I'm going to do this video and it is a big shout out. And there is a part at the end where you don't want to miss it if you want to be a part of it. Okay? So you're going to have to watch this till the end, or I suppose you can fast forward it, but whatever. We need to get to the end. Let me share the screen. Let me bring up my PowerPoint as I usually do. And where is it? There it is. So it is time to fight for Australia, mate. Bitching and whinging is no longer going to cut it. Writing letters probably won't make it either. There has to be some action taken. Now, I am just one, right? I am not everybody. I am just one. And I have to then call on everybody because I can't do this on my own. You can't do it on your own. So I'm now going to call on everybody. Here we go, everybody. Will we all come together? Now, this has been put forward many times, and last week I tried to speak to a few people with not a lot of success, I can tell you. But here's my call out. My call out is for all the common law groups, for all the My Place groups, for the constitutional groups, for the living in the private groups, the natural health groups, the pissed off defence and police groups, the anti-big pharma groups, the sacked nurses, the sacked police, the farming community and their groups, any anti-government group, the Exit the Who group, Living Consciously, Terror Australis, Freedom Unity, and many more. All the minor parties that ran in the last election, Hoodie, Dave O'Neill's. Guys, we all need to come together and bring anybody who is pissed off with the government in general, and that, my friends, is over 70% of the adult population of this country. That is how many people there are out there. But will we come together? Now, I do have a solution to put to those who want to come together. It may not suit. You may think I'm a lunatic. I don't know, but I have a solution, I believe. So, moving right along. So, coming to us very soon, if not stopped, and it'll be brought to us by our own complacency or our own inability to unite. Now, the communist enemy in our country, their goal is to destroy Australia and its people. That is you. That is your kids. That's your mum and dad. That's your grandma and grandpa who will be forced out of their homes because they won't be able to afford the exorbitant tax these cretins are putting on everything. You see, they're communists. I would have had a communist sticker on every one of them, but I just couldn't make them small enough to be noticeable. But these are all communists. You have to understand. Their goal is to wipe out democracy, to wipe out freedom of speech, to wipe out property ownership. And they are moving on that one at 100 miles an hour. The overlords of the world. There's the City of London Corporation, there's the United Nations, and there's Vatican City. And the Australian government is under administration by the United Nations. They have trusteeship over us because it was given to them, not by you or I, but by the honourable people. We have been living under the control of the United Nations for decades and decades. We think we have a government. We don't. We have muppets. Now, if not stopped, Labor thinks it has a mandate for the following. Now, keep in mind, they only got 26% of all eligible votes. And I don't think that's anywhere close to a mandate. I don't know, I'm not real good at maths perhaps, but I think 26% is piss poor. But they will bring in the voice, treaty and truth. Not that they understand truth, but it will work against you and I. The misinformation, disinformation will get another run. The central bank digital ID currency is they're going to have a big run at that one. Online digital IDs for social media, that's going to be going hard. Tax on unrealised gains. Well, you don't realise it perhaps, but you're already paying tax on unrealised gains. It's called rates. Every time the property value goes up, your rates go up. You haven't realised the gain, but you get taxed on it. It's crap, it's lies, it's deceit, it's fraud, it's pure theft. Destruction of our energy grid. Well, they're working 100 mile an hour to wipe out our reliable energy and put us under this lunacy of green, clean energy, which is anything but. It's the biggest lie ever fabricated on the planet outside the jibber jabber. And unlimited debt. Well, we can't have this. It's got to be stopped. And you see, we will no longer be serfs or slaves under these people. We are the offsprings of the mighty Anzac. Ours is the spirit of the Light Horse Brigade at Bathsheba. We have the souls of the settlers and the diggers on the goldfields in Ballarat that refused to be defeated. They were defeated on the day, but they won eventually. And we declare we are free men and women, and we now claim our inalienable rights. See, the Honourable Kim Beazley in federal parliament in 1990 quoted, "The United Nations has given the federal government a mandate." How could the United Nations give the federal government a mandate if the federal government is not under the control of the United Nations? And so therefore, section 44 of the Constitution says none can sit in parliament because they are under the control of a foreign body. A mandate of ownership for the housing property, farms and businesses to government control once the Republic has been proclaimed. Labor will have another run at the Republic, don't you worry about that. But understand what that means, that the United Nations has given the federal government a mandate, and only people in superior positions can give a mandate. So therefore, that statement told us all that the Australian government is under the control of a foreign body. They have no lawful place in this country. We have the power, people. Remember that song of John Lennon's, "Power to the People"? Well, here we come. So it's time to fight for Australia, mate. Talking has not got us anywhere. Bitching and whinging and complaining has not got us anywhere. Infighting and accusing everybody else of everything else has not got us anywhere. We can watch the communists destroy what is left and come under Chinese rule if you want. Is that what you want? They circled us. They told us they're going to claim us. And you're still sitting there bitching and whinging. They're putting a tax on top of taxes on top of taxes. They don't have to come in with guns. They're just going to force everybody off the land and take control of your house with tax. Unlawful, but they'll do it if we are complacent. You see, migrants get housed and Australians live in tents. Migrants get grants to start a business and Australians go broke. Migrants are told to vote for Labor as part of their entry into this country. And I know that for an absolute fact, as I've spoken to work crews that were in front of my house laying the fibre optic cable, and they told me that part of their coming into this country, when they become eligible to vote, they must vote Labor because Labor got them here. That's a fact. You see, the local councils, when people have to live in tents, why do people in Australia have to live in tents, for God's sake? Oh, well, the rates are too high, the rents are too high, they can't afford it, they're on a low fixed income, pensions aren't enough, people are being forced out of their houses because they can't afford to pay the rates, the council sells their house out from under them. Where the hell do they go? They live in a tent. So now the homeless are about to be fined, their belongings confiscated under a tough new crackdown. Is that right? Is this Australia or is this China? Every local councillor in this country, if you see this, you should hang your head in shame, resign your position and go and beg for mercy. You see, there's less than 300 in that big building up there in Parliament, the Honourables. The Honourables. There's less than 300 of them. Guess what? Do you remember that movie, The Bugs or something, with the ants? And the grasshopper said if one ant stood up, they might all stand up, and our way of life would be done because they outnumber us.
There was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss, they're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
Well, how about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
There's 20 million of us if we stand together as Australians. 20 million against 300? That, my friend, is 66,000 to 1. 66,000 to 1. Are we going to sit there and be fearful? Be serfs and slaves? Not on my watch. Not in my house. So, while I'm calling on the influencers, we all need to do what they did during the pandemic, what the government did during the pandemic. They all spoke the same language. They all spoke the same fear. They all spoke the same narrative. And the word got out to be scared. Oh, be careful, be careful. Oh, take the shot, take the shot. It's safe and effective, safe and effective. So even though it was all bullshit and lies, the narrative was so widespread, everybody got it. Well, I'm calling on our influencers, Topher, Cafe Lockout, Punters Politics, Voice of Freedom, Nicola Charles, Dave Graham, the Guru, Dave O'Nees. Can we all come together? Would you guys all come on a call with me so as I can outline the plan we have, so as we might all start talking the same language, the same narrative, so as we can put it out there, and when the people move 66,000 to 1, we'll have the authority, we will have the numbers. Like I said before, the common law groups, my place groups, constitutional groups, living in the private groups, natural health groups, pissed off defence and police, and there's plenty of them, the anti-big pharma groups, all the sacked nurses, all the sacked police, all the sacked fireys, all the sacked Dambos, the farming groups, the anti-government groups, the Exit the Who group, Living Consciously, Terror Australis, Freedom Unity, and many, many more, all the minor political parties. And I've started talking to a few of them, and they are receptive to the idea. Hoodie, Dave O'Nees, come on, guys, let's pull this together. Let's do this. We don't have much time. If you think you can wait for the next election, good luck. Quite frankly, it'll all be over by then. You see, this is the legitimate seat of government for the People's Parliament. It is time for we the people to bring our country back under a legitimate, lawful parliament. It really is. So, here it is, Wednesday, the 28th of May, next week. I'm going to be doing a Zoom call, and it'll be open to anybody who wants to be involved with the Reformation. Anybody who wants to go, all right, we've had enough. What's the action plan? What's the end result? How are we going to achieve it? And I'm going to run that at 9 p.m. SA time. Now, if you want the link to that, you need to email me at tim@ourtrueaustralia.com. tim@ourtrueaustralia.com. All right? So, That's what we're going to do. We will start the process. Let the history record that we did not take the opportunity when we had it, whilst we had it. Guys, we are ready for this. We are ready. Can you imagine this country back as a free country? People who don't live in fear anymore and reprisal of government. People who don't fear not being able to pay their rates and have their property forced out from under them, sold whilst they're still living in it. Can you imagine how good it would be to have a police force that wasn't full of goons and all they want to do is cause harm and suffering? Can you imagine a government that wants to uplift the people, not press them down? Can you imagine a people living in a society where it's okay to be free? It's okay to speak your mind. Can you imagine what a great country this could be? Can you imagine if we had a country where the government collected all the royalties of the mines, and decent royalties, not penny gifts of the miners, but decent royalties. And that money was held in a national fund. And on the 1st of December every year, every man and woman over the age of 21 years of age would get their one share of all the annual royalties of those mines. That'd change your life every year. That's the sort of country I want. That's the sort of country I believe we should have. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Tim Dwyer. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Send me the email and let's see what we can get done, will we?
G'day. Travel is a wonderful thing. Imagine strolling through the vineyards in the south of France, sampling a drop of the grape. Bonjour, monsieur. Treating your tummy to the exotic delights of the mystical East.
Here's your curry prawns, Hoax.
Oh, thanks, Trevor. We'll turn back the pages of history to the grandeur of the British aristocracy. Morning, Squire.
G'day, Hoax.
Yep, if you want to see the world, don't miss the best part, Australia. While you're having a good time swimming and skiing, caravanning or camping, dining and dancing, or just visiting Auntie Dora, you haven't seen in ages, you're helping yourself to a holiday you probably need. And helping Aussies get jobs they definitely need.
Hello?
G'day. I've come to visit Auntie Doreen.
Oh, gee. She's gone to Perth for a holiday.
See? The ad's working already.